Hi, this is Cultural Encounter, exploring art, life, and culture in Yamhill County. My guest today is James Howe. We're here to talk about your musical journey. And I say we're going to start with that because you've ended up doing so many cool things musically in our community. And yeah, I'd love to hear more about that.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I'd like to say that it's a pleasure to be here and especially to be interviewed by you, my dear friend, Courtney. I am a huge fan of music. I'm obsessed. I'm never not listening to music or not going to shows or, quite frankly, not organizing something to do with music. And for me, it's started basically when I was in the womb, probably because my parents were both music lovers. My dad was always in a band. He was like in an 80s hair metal band with names like Boar's Tusk and Wicked Jester. And my mom played the flute when she was growing up. And when I got to be in 6th grade, I got to play her flute that she played as a kid. And I was obsessed. I practiced every single day, and I joined every band that I could. I even talked my band teacher into letting me join jazz band, even though there were no flute parts. I learned how to transpose trumpet music on the fly.
Oh, wow.
And I was always in choir too. So all through like middle school, high school, even when I went to college, I was in band. And as an adult, I joined community bands wherever I lived. When I moved to McMinnville in 2009, one of the first things that I did was I reached out to Second Wind's community band and I joined and I played with them for several seasons until I think probably right around until the time I started getting involved with gallery theater. Mm-hmm. And so then my creative focus kind of switched to that. And I was first cast as Columbia in the Rocky Horror Show. And that was my first, I did do drama in high school, but that was my first time doing theater as an adult. And I was definitely bit by the bug and was in several productions after that, including 2 productions with my daughter, Zoe, who at the time was an elementary school kid. So ever since I moved to McMinnville, arts and culture has been something that has driven me and has provided so much community and creative outlets. And so that's kind of how I got involved in the community here. I went to school at Chemeketa Community College starting in 2014. Mm-hmm. And I realized once I started there that I wanted to serve my community somehow. And I didn't really know what that would look like. But it turns out that I got an internship while I was there with the McMinnville Downtown Association. Mm-hmm. That internship ended up turning into a full-time position, and I got to start booking music in McMinnville. And so back then, we still had concerts on the plaza, mm-hmm. and I also booked music for the farmers market and for Turkey Rama, and it has always brought me so much joy to bring community together to enjoy music and dance and meet people and get together with our friends. Like for me, it brought me so much joy to see people bonding over music. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know, that's how it started for me professionally. When I started working at Visit McMinnville, I got to take that even further and really reach out into the artist community more than just music. Mm-hmm. And that's what I was originally hired for, was to kind of like find the ways that we could tell the stories about the arts and culture opportunities in McMinnville. And then COVID happened, mm-hmm. and we couldn't tell anybody to come visit. But we were able to use our channels to talk about the artists in our community. And I started this series where I reached out to local artists and they sent me videos, mm-hmm. about what they were working on in their studios while we were all, having to isolate. And I just loved getting connected that way. I loved giving artists a platform to share what they were working on and to be known. That kind of evolved into a video series that we started called McMinnville Inspires, and we highlighted what was happening at Gallery Theater as well. And then one day we were in the office, and Jeff Knapp, who used to be the executive director, just kind of said, we need to have an arts and culture publication. And I was like, yes, we do. And so that's how Crush Arts and Culture Publication started. And I was the editor of that publication for more than 2 years. And still to this day, that is the most favorite thing that I've ever done in my life, because I got to suss out the stories of like, who's doing the cool things. And we did focus on artists and writers, but we also focused on nonprofits who were doing great things in our community. And it was a way to get connected. It was a way to kind of see the web of how everyone in town is connected, how we all can support each other. I learned about resources that could help artists and nonprofits, and learned how to connect people to resources. And it just felt so wonderful. We ended up losing funding for that project, and that was such a big bummer, because I really felt like it did a lot for this community. And who knows, like maybe there's an opportunity for something like that again. I hope so. But in the meantime, I am still focused on Make Music McMinnville, which is something that I started in 2022 with Freddie Lamb and Darlene Siegel. And we're getting ready for that celebration on June 21st.
Yay!
And I also have been enjoying working with a band. So the band that I'm in now is called Sunstonecouncil, and we're all based in Yamhill County. Our drummer, Teresa Riccardi, is based out of Sheridan, and our singer, songwriter, guitar player is Suzanne Calloway, and she's based out of Carlton. And then, of course, I'm based out of McMinnville, and we just finished recording our first album.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
Wow!
Yeah, and so I sing and I play my flute in that band, and it has been the most joyous thing that I have done in a long time, and I'm so excited. We've had some gigs, but we don't have anything booked right now because we've been so focused on recording. So that's what I'm doing these days. I'm also really joyful to say that both of my kids are very involved with music too. My daughter, well, I forced both of my kids to take piano lessons.
Like a good parent, yes.
And my daughter still plays piano on her own and writes songs and learns songs, and she plays the ukulele too, and she sings. And my son, Valen, he has been writing songs and recording them himself and with the help of his big sister, since he was like, I don't know, 10 or something like that, 10 or 11. And now he can play the guitar, he can play the bass, he can play the drums, and he writes his own music and records it all. And he takes lessons from my friend and also local music organizer, Marcus Glaze, who is in the band Falconheart. So,
oh, wow.
It's just, we wouldn't have known how to get all connected if it wasn't for all of the work that I've been doing in Make Music McMinnville. And I guess also I was in Walnut City, the Walnut City Music Festival committee too. And that's where I met Marcus. But it's a very tight-knit group of people, and we all support each other. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, it's incredible hearing you kind of lay out like all the different things that you've done and all the different things that you've participated in. And I love that what you come back to again and again is just the community that's here and how much we care about each other. I say we are just threw myself into, I don't play any musical instruments, but like, it's that caring but also that sense of community of like, like whether you're volunteering with gallery or organizing a music event in its 5th year or trying to find people to jam with or play with, like, I think all of that experience, I don't think a lot of people realize just the wealth of opportunity there can be.
It's so true, Courtney, and I'm glad that you say that. I feel like Oregonians are so likely to just kind of isolate and keep to themselves. And I don't know if that's the weather in the Pacific Northwest or what, but I think I read something that Oregonians are the most introverted people in the United States or something like that. And I believe it. And it's so easy to forget that we have this vibrant community that we can go see the amazing the amazing things that people do and create, and so many more wonderful things are coming out of the woodwork. I love seeing that, for example, Real Hollywood Video. They have been hosting live music like crazy, and providing opportunities for young people to play and to see live music. And, of course, McMinnville's is back to hosting music again, which is great because they took a short break after COVID, and Stickman Brewing, and there are weekly open mic nights.
Right.
So just my thing to suggest is just like get on Facebook, see what's happening, get on Instagram. There is so much to go out there and support, and you never know, you might get inspired and start a project of your own.
You might start a Sunstonecouncil.
Yes.
And I guess I'm curious, through all of your, did it feel, so for you to get involved and like be in a band again, was that something you had always been wanting to get back to all along? Or did you feel like with the things you were doing in life that now is the right time and it feels like the right time?
Yes. Both. Through Crush Publication and Make Music McMinnville, I've spent a lot of time and energy supporting other people to do their art and to do their work. And I started to grow hungry to do that for myself. And it was right around the time when I was thinking, I want to get back into playing the guitar again and writing music again. That's another thing. I used to play in a duo with Val Blaha called Luminous Heart. But anyways, I was feeling that desire again. And then next thing I know, my friend Suzanne calls me up. Hey, I want to record some of my songs. Do you want to sing on the album? And so that ended up turning into a band, and it was divine timing.
That's wonderful. And just how long had you known your other band members before?
Probably about 10 years.
I was going to say, she's like, yeah. I know who I want to sing on my album.
Yeah. And we had met through Val, actually. Years ago, we all did a couple of joint gigs. And so you just never know when things just come back around into your life, and I'm delighted.
Yeah. And so I guess for you personally, what are the kinds of things that, when it comes to music, really inspire you?
Well, I think that you can communicate with music in a way that you can communicate through music in a way that you can't in other ways. And it is the thing that inspires me the most. There's something about like the music and the lyrics together that, I don't know, it's magic.
And I think there's something that it triggers, like an even bigger emotional reaction. Because I know you can if you put a soundtrack to any conversation, it's probably going to make me cry. But yeah, well, and I think music can affect us on such a like base level.
Yes, I agree. And I also think about music as the best way to, I don't know, like bring me back to a time in my life of when I was listening to it. It's like a bookmark of my life. So I don't know. I can hear a song that I was listening to 10 years ago, and immediately I will be back in that place.
there's just so much emotion tied into it.
Yeah.
James, we are out of time, but it's been so wonderful to hear about your musical journey and where you found inspiration and community here. So thank you so much for coming in and sharing all that with me.
Thanks for having me, Courtney.
Thank you. This is Courtney Terry, and this has been Cultural Encounter. Thank you.